On today's episode, I'm coming to you from the back of a 1915 Buick. And I am with Don and Mary Vaske. And they are being gracious hosts and letting me ride along. This is all part of the Red Flag Horseless Carriage tour in southeast Iowa. And it goes from New London to Brighton. But we're actually in Burlington today for this episode, and this episode is brought to you by Garner Auto Body of Washington, Iowa, using state-of-the-art techniques and decades of experience to get your car back on the road after an accident. Don't look at my hair, folks. Car Doctor of Washington, Iowa. No matter who Frankensteined it, they can fix and clean and customize it. McDonald Boneyard of Keota, Iowa, for all of your farm equipment and auto recycling needs. Hinshaw Trailer Cells of Richland, Iowa. You need a trailer, they've got your trailer, and they fix what they sell and don't. They're full-time repair shop. Early Repair of Winfield, Iowa. If your mower is dead, call Fred, your Husqvarna, Aaron's, and Gravely dealer. B&B Propane and the family of Jet Stops. And Blue Dog Lawn Care of Wayland, Iowa, for all your residential and commercial lawn care needs. And when the snow starts flying, they'll take care of that for you too. They all present Southeast Iowa today. I'm John Bain, author of Christie's Journey, The Beat Goes On, and your host. Let's get right to the program. Don, thanks for being on Southeast Iowa today. And thank you, and to your wife Mary, for allowing my friend Larry and I to ride in this wonderful 1915 Buick.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming along.
I'll tell you, when you're a car guy, if you don't ever get a chance to ride in something like this, you can't call yourself a car guy.
I would agree with that.
And how did you, this car guy, end up with this car?
All right, this car was purchased by my grandpa in 1991. He did a complete restoration on it. My parents had the pleasure of touring a few times in this vehicle with my grandparents.
How cool is that?
And then when my grandpa was no longer able to take care of it, my parents got this in 2008 from him. They did several tours on their own, mom and dad, and then when dad's health started failing, I took over doing the driving and taking them on tour. So my wife and I got to do tours with them as well.
So multi-generational
Correct.
families in this car.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes, very much so. Love it.
Obviously, the family connection has got to be a big deal to you, but what else is really special with you in this car?
Just being able to work on it with dad. I worked on it with grandpa. You know, I remember all those memories of, working on this car, being around it, taking it, visiting grandpa out in Colorado, which is where he lived, and he would take us out for drives in it.
Wow.
And things like that. So yeah,
a lot of great memories.
Yes.
Can you show us a little bit around the car?
Sure.
So that the audience gets to
Yeah.
really see what a 1915 Buick is all about?
So one of the biggest things that people really think this car is cool is the exposed rocker arms.
Yeah.
So everything is very easy to work on.
That's not only a mechanical marvel and wonder, it's art.
Yes, very much so.
I mean,
Yeah.
look at that.
Yeah.
That is incredible. So it's 6-cylinder?
6-cylinder, cast in pairs.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. Now I see you got a little oil can.
Yes. So about every 50 miles, you oil the tops of the lifters and the arms.
I'll be darned.
Yep.
So, folks that are watching and listening, you have to kind of know what's going on a little bit, maybe get your hands dirty once in a while.
Correct. Yes. So it's also a 7-passenger. So what we have is a couple of jump seats.
Look at that.
Pop up. And then you have 3 in the back, 2 jump seats, and then your 2 in the front for 7 passengers.
And this is 1915.
1915. This is, before the stow and go. That's nothing new.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah.
They sure acted like it when it came out, didn't they?
They sure did. So
That is really something. Well, I got to sit right back there and very comfortable.
yes,
Comfortable
it is
ride.
a very comfortable riding vehicle.
And that's something that traditionally Buick has always been known for.
Correct.
And do you know what year the first Buick came out?
I am not exactly sure. I want to say early 1900s, like 1905, 1908, somewhere in there.
It's something in there. There's still Buick models today. They aren't like this, but
No.
my dad always drove Buicks.
Yes.
And,
My parents drove Buicks,
yeah.
and my wife's parents drove Buicks as well.
So I'll tell you.
Yes, it's definitely a family thing.
There you go. Well, speaking of family things, you see people that you guys kind of become a family, it seems like, on the Red Flag Horseless Carriage tour.
For sure. Yeah, we've become good friends with a lot of the other couples that are on the tour with us.
And how many tours have you been on?
Probably about 10.
10? Okay.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And I think they've only been doing this for about 14 years. Yeah, so
yeah.
you've been on most of
I've been
them.
on a lot of them,
Yeah.
yep.
And here we are today in Burlington, Iowa, overlooking the Mississippi.
Yes.
And just a little overcast, but still a beautiful day.
It is very beautiful.
What's your favorite part of the tour?
The memories. Yep.
Yeah.
Doing it with my parents. Now they're both gone. Just continuing on with the family.
And you're
tradition.
making memories with Mary.
And making memories with my wife, yes.
Yeah. Well, Don, thank you so much. Thanks for allowing me to hitchhike and be a passenger with you. And folks that are watching this right now, you're in the next part, in the next segment, you're going to see video from inside this fine ride. So, Don, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
There they go. Right now, Larry and I are in the back seat of Don and Mary's Buick. Mary, what year Buick is this?
It's a 1915.
1915. Wow. I'll tell you, it's really comfortable back here. And roomy.
Yes, it is roomy.
And Buicks have always been known for that.
Yes.
That's incredible. Don, what do you think of driving this thing?
I think it's great.
I can see why.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. What's the top speed on this?
Probably around 45.
45?
Yeah.
Wow. This is really something. I mean, you know, when you think about automobiles today and you compare them to a 1915 car of yesterday, there's similarities, of course, but a lot of big differences. But the thing is, if you allow yourself your mind to go back in time when you're in a car like this, it was pretty incredible in 1915.
Yes, it was. There were not paved roads, so the trips were still a little bit treacherous, I believe.
Yes.
This vehicle has wooden spokes that the rubber tires go onto. It's not like the wheel setup that we have today.
Right.
So I'm sure it was a pretty bumpy ride back then.
Now, when it comes to maintenance and replacing parts and all that, is Don doing that?
He collaborates.
He collaborates.
With friends and family.
I know what that's like. I'm a collaborator myself.
And we have had to have his brother design and fabricate a couple of parts to replace.
Yeah,
so.
because things just aren't made like this
Correct.
anymore. Yeah. Well, this is incredible. It's this is really a sweet ride. Wouldn't you say, Larry?
This is very nice. Thank you for allowing us to ride in your old vehicle.
Absolutely, you are welcome anytime.
Larry owns a 1924 Ford Model T truck.
Oh, nice.
And I have to say, I enjoy it, but it's not as luxurious as this Buick.
You have driven the Model T.
I have driven the Model T, which was probably very scary for Larry at the time. But fortunately, we did get it to stop.
That's always a good goal, isn't it?
Without me hitting something. That was it. Well, I think what I'll do is I'll wrap up this segment, but from time to time I'm going to start rolling the camera again and pick up some of this beautiful Southeast Iowa scenery.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Don and Mary, I got the camera rolling again.
Okay.
Now that we're slowing down a little bit in this race car, and we're entering, it looks like Middletown, Iowa. Just tell me some of the places you guys have been in this, Don.
So I did a tour with my parents up in Clarion, Iowa is where it started. The one thing I remember from that tour is going through the grotto at West Bend.
I've heard that's really cool.
It's really cool. I was actually born in Eldona, so in that same area. So that was fun to go back to the grotto.
Oh, I bet so. I bet so.
Visit.
That's a place that all Iowans should see. I mean, that's something special in our state.
A couple more stops on that tour were the National Hobo Museum in Britt, Iowa.
Okay.
That was pretty fascinating.
I bet
And another stop that was really neat was out at which county would it be? Which county is up there? It's in Eldona area. The county fairgrounds.
Okay.
Cassuth County. They had prisoners of war in that area that were housed up there, and a lot of the prisoners would go out with the farmers because a lot of the farmers were soldiers in the war, so they were trying to keep all these farms going. They would go and help and be farm hands.
I'll be darned.
I think they were there for a couple of years. They built wooden life-size nativity to help brighten things up in the prisoner of war camp.
Okay.
And when the war was over, they gifted that nativity set to the people of Cassuth County.
Oh, that's
in his house
neat.
there, so we went through and looked at that. So that's pretty neat history.
I'll tell you, there's just so much interesting and important history in Iowa.
Yes.
There really is.
Yes.
And you know, a lot of times, and I've said this before in other podcasts, everybody just calls us flyover country, but there's a lot going on in flyover country.
Yes, there is.
And look at us, we're going to pass this car here. Hey. I knew that was going to happen. Just riding here for a little bit, I'm telling my audience this right now. I know Don has a need for speed.
This car likes the speed.
Yes. It runs a little smoother at this little bit higher pace. That's the pace.
That is nice. Looks like we're going to get another one.
Yes, it does.
Have the opportunity.
Yeah,
To take it, right?
that's right. I really appreciate you folks letting us ride with you.
We're happy to have you along.
This is so neat to be able to share this experience with the audience on the podcast, and I know that they're enjoying it. And you folks watching, I hope that you make sure to share this podcast with your friends and family, and let people know about the Red Flag Horseless Carriage Tour. And also, when you're doing that, make sure you like this episode and that you follow and subscribe, because I really appreciate that too. Well, it's getting a little windier right now, so I'm gonna it'll probably be harder for the microphone to pick up conversation, and you know, Don's putting his foot into it, so we'll wrap up this segment.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I want to thank Don and Mary for letting Larry, my buddy Larry, and I ride along with them in their 1915 Buick, and also for letting you ride along, because basically you got to ride along too. And thank you for watching. I want to thank our sponsors: Griner Auto Body, Car Doctor, McDonald Boneyard, Hinshaw Trailer Sales, Girling Repair, B&B Propane and the family of Jet Stops, and Blue Dog Lawn Care. I'm your host, John Bain. Stay friendly, Southeast Iowa.